children, I am back with the explanation of Act 3, Scene 3 of The Merchant of Venice. This brief scene with Antonio in custody serves to make more vivid the audience impression of Antonio's predicament. Antonio tries to placate Shylock so that the Jew may change his attitude, but Shylock is delighted at seeing his enemy helpless and insists that he wants nothing less than the bond. Antonio can do nothing except to pray for the arrival of Bassanio to bid him a last farewell. So in this scene we see that Antonio tries his best to make Shylock change his mind, but Shylock is adamant to have his forfeiture of the bond, and he says that he will have nothing but the 1 pound of Antonio's flesh. And Antonio, he gives up and he just waits. He's ready to pay the penalty, and he's just waiting for the arrival of Bassanio to say the last goodbye to him. So the scene 3, it opens in Venice, a street. Enter Shylock, Salarino, Antonio and Gowler. Now Gowler is the jailer. So Shylock says, Gowler, look to him. So Shylock says, jailer, please take care of him, that is, guard him very carefully. Tell not me of mercy. Don't ask me to show him mercy. This is the fool that lent out money gratis. Now gratis means without charging any interest. So he says that this fool, Antonio, is a fool who lent money to the people without charging any interest. Gowler, look to him. Jailer, guard him very carefully. He should not run away. Antonio, hear me yet, good Shylock. So Antonio requests Shylock that listen to me, good Shylock. Shylock, I'll have my bond. Now Shylock is adamant and he says, I will have my bond. Speak not against my bond. He says, please don't say anything against my bond. I will have nothing but my bond. I have sworn an oath that I will have my bond. He says, I have taken a pledge, I have taken an oath that I will have nothing but my bond. So it continues, thou callest me dog before thou hadst a cause. So he says, thou means you, calledst me dog. Calledst me means you called me a dog before thou means you, hadst means had a cause. You called me a dog even before you had any cause for doing so. But since I am a dog, beware my fangs. Here fangs means teeth. So as you have called me a dog, you said that I am a dog, so you be careful of my teeth. I might bite you. The Duke shall grant me justice. He says the Duke will grant me justice. He is going to pass the judgment. I do wonder. He says, I wonder, thou naughty Gowler. Thou means you. Naughty means useless. Gowler means jailer. You useless jailer, that thou art so fond. Thou means you. Art means are. That you are so fond to come abroad with him at his request. So he says, I am really surprised, you foolish jailer, that you have come out with him at his request. That is, you have brought this prisoner out of the jail at his request. Antonio, I pray thee, I request thee means you. I request you, hear me speak. I request you, please listen to me what I am saying. Shylock, he is adamant. I'll have my bond, I will not hear thee speak. He says, I will have my bond. I want nothing but my bond. I will not hear thee means you. I will not listen to you speaking. I will have my bond. I just want my bond. And therefore speak no more. And therefore I am telling you, don't say a word. Don't speak a single word more. I'll not be made a soft and dull-eyed fool. He says, you cannot make my heart soft. You cannot make me soft-hearted, and dull-eyed means a fool, a stupid fool. To shake the head. So I will not be made soft-hearted and a stupid fool. To just shake my head. Relent means to pity you, and sigh and take long breaths of regret and pity, and yield to Christian intercessories. And give up to the Christian intercessories means the people, that is the Christian people, who are requesting me to show mercy on this man. Follow not. Do not follow me. Don't come behind me. I will have no speaking. I will not listen to you speaking a single word. I will have my bond. I just want the penalty which is mentioned in my bond. That was at the expiry of 3 months. If Antonio does not pay him back 3,000 ducats, then Shylock can cut 1 pound of flesh from any part of Antonio's body that pleases him. Exit. So Shylock, after making this speech, he goes away from there. Then Salarino. It is the most impenetrable cur. Impenetrable means hard-hearted, cruel-hearted. Cur means dog. He is the most cruel-hearted dog that ever kept with men, who has ever lived in the company of human beings. Antonio, let him alone. He says, just leave him alone. Just don't go behind him trying to change his mind. Let him go. I'll follow him no more with bootless prayers. So he says, I am not going to go around him trying to make requests which are useless. He is not going to listen any requests made by us. He seeks my life. He just wants to take my life. He wants to kill me. His reason, well, I know. He says, I know the reason why he's wanting to take my life. I oft means often, delivered from his forfeitures. Delivered means saved. From his forfeitures means the penalty or the punishments, many that have at times made moan to me. He says that I have often saved many of those people who came and made a moan to me, means who came and appealed to me to help them out to pay the penalty they owed Shylock. That means I gave the money to many people who requested me to pay the penalty, to pay the forfeiture that they owed Shylock. Therefore he hates me. That is the reason he hates me and he is seeking my life. Salarino. I am sure the Duke will never grant this forfeiture to hold. So Salarino says, I am sure that the Duke will never allow him to take this penalty, will never allow him to go forth with cutting 1 pound of Antonio's flesh. So Antonio says, the Duke cannot deny the course of law. So Antonio, in plain words, he says that Duke cannot deny means refuse. The course of law means to let law take its due course. That means he cannot deny justice being given to Shylock, because what Shylock is asking is according to the rules of Venice. It is a written document in which the conditions and the term of the bond are mentioned, and it is a single bond which is signed by Antonio. So he is asking for the penalty which is very much correct according to the law of Venice. So the Duke cannot go against the course of law. He will have to pass a judgment against Antonio because he has not been able to pay back the money on time. For the commodity that strangers have, over here commodity means, children, the rights. The rights that the strangers are the foreigners. The rights that the foreigners have with us in Venice, if it be denied, that is the rights that the foreigners have in Venice, if it is refused, will much impeach. Impeach means it will go against the justice of the state. If the foreigners are refused their right, they are refused to give their rights, then it will be a question mark on the justice of the state against the Venetian justice. Since that the trade and profit of the city, since the trade and profit means since Venice, it has business relationships, it has trade, import and export, and the profit of the city and the profit that it makes from its export of goods consisteth of all nations. Consisted means consists. That means because Venice had its trade with many countries, so its business relations will be disturbed, they will be spoiled if any foreigner is refused to get, he's refused to be given justice in the law court of Venice. Its trade relations with other countries will get spoiled, and ultimately its profit will also be affected. Therefore go. He says, therefore go. These griefs and losses are the sadness and the losses that I have borne because of the loss of my ships have so baited me. Baited me means they have made me lose my weight to such an extent that I shall hardly spare a pound of flesh, that I feel that my body does not have a pound of flesh in lump sum anywhere. Tomorrow to my bloody creditor, I won't be having a pound of flesh to be given to my bloodthirsty creditor. Who's the creditor here? Shylock. Well, Gowler, he says, well, jailer, on. Let us move on. Pray God. I pray to God Almighty, Bassanio come to see me pay his debt, that Bassanio may come and watch me paying his debt. And then I care not. And then he says, if I get to see Bassanio while I am paying the penalty, then I am not worried about anything. Then I don't care for anything else. So this is the end of scene 3. Hope you've understood and happy listening. And in my next video, I'll come with the line-wise paraphrasing of Act 3, Scene 4. Thank you.